Rock your thing. Let me hear what you got to say, my brother.
All right, so you mentioned about we have to get together. Which nation of people has to get together? Is it all nations?
All nations, brother.
That's not what the Bible is saying.
All nation of people.
Hey, bring me that sign.
We all one people. We all form one body.
We are not one people. We are not one people.
We all form what body we form?
So it's saying that we are one people, right?
We are all one people.
We are one people.
We're supposed to be one people.
We're supposed to be one people.
That's right.
Which nation of people are in the ghettos?
That ain't got
No, you can't move like that.
You ain't gonna switch that up on me like that.
No,
you ain't gonna take that narrative. You ain't gonna take that narrative.
No, brother, you can't say that we are one people.
Listen.
Wait, let's do this. We are all grown up, right? So when I speak, you listen. When you speak, I will listen.
You just asked me a question.
Okay, let me
respond to the question.
All right, go ahead.
You said, what nation of people are in the ghettos? That's what you posed to me, right? But what I posed to you, my brother, is just not, our kind in the ghetto. You got white people, that suffer in the ghetto along with us. You understand what I'm saying? We should all take a message from George Floyd. Let me tell you something. When George Floyd, got murdered, you see, it was 50% of us that got together and was mad about it. We mad about it for our own selfish reasons. You know what I'm saying? But the white people see their eyes open and they see they campaigned for us more than we did. You understand?
Wait.
Throughout the nation. We can't lie about that. It was televised.
But wait, do you know why?
Is that a correct statement?
But do you know why? Do you know why the white men always, or the other nations always join with us? Do you know why? This is the reason why. Read
the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 9. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. He found him in a desert land and in a waste howling wilderness. Verse 8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance.
God divided the nations. From the beginning of creation, God did not join us together. He said he divided them. Let me finish read.
When he separated
the nation of
the
people.
sons of Adam.
Every nation is a people. And people create nation. Right? People create nation. What's the white nation? They are Caucasian people. What's the dark nation?
I ain't gonna let you rock that narrative.
No, wait. And people create nation, brother. Give me Genesis. Give me Genesis 25. People create nation. We'll come back to Deuteronomy. You can't say that people don't create nation. We create one man seed create nation. Read.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 20. The book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 20. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife.
There will be two nations in your womb.
Oh, yes, sir. Verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
So how come there's 2 nations in a woman's womb? Why? Because the man is the one that creates a nation.
The man.
Yeah, so people create a nation. We so-called blacks, give me the sign. These people, we are a nation. We are a nation of people. The Chinese, they are a nation. The Arab, they are a nation. The reason why these other nations join with us is because of this. Give me that Deuteronomy 32 verse 9. Read that. This is what the nations knows about the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
So God chose only the children of Israel to be his people. So these nations know how great we are. So every little thing that we do, they join with us. For example, black people are the only nation that started wearing their pants on their buttocks, right? On their buttocks, right? What happened? All the nations follow that. Even though it's wicked, but all the nations follow that. They know we are the greatest.
We are unique.
Yes, that's what the nations know. The nations know that we are the greatest nation on this planet. So
everybody follow the trend of the black man. That's fact.
So we cannot be the same then. So we cannot be the same.
But we're supposed to be the same, my brother.
But no, that's not what the Bible is saying.
Each one teach one.
No.
Yo, the same way you teaching me, I'll have a white man right here and I'll teach him the same thing.
What you're saying came from this. He enslaved us, give us a religion that we should love each other. We should love all nations are created equal.
I don't deal with religions. I deal with spirituality.
Okay, so let's be spirituality. Give me John 6:63. Let's see what. Okay, so this picture, right? How did they destroy our spirit? This picture. How did this destroy our spirit? But how did this picture destroy our spirit? Because if you go to churches, what do you see? You see this picture, right?
Well, those are slaves, you know what I'm saying? Slave minded people.
But if you look at today, how did this picture destroy our spirit today?
It ain't destroy mine. I don't know.
But brother, it
Go
destroys
ahead.
our spirit. Why? Because we don't know who we are. If I ask what's your nationality, what would you say?
Huh?
What's your nationality?
I'm Jamaican.
Jamaican.
I'm Jamaican.
Before, how do you get the name Jamaican?
I'm Jamaican. I'm Rasta. I'm Rasta.
What do you mean by you Rasta? How do you get the name
It's
Jamaican?
Rasta. It's Rasta.
Give me the
I
sign
live-
again.
You
Don't
gotta
put it
live.
down.
You gotta live a certain lifestyle to be Rasta.
This is what the Bible. Give me I think it's Isaiah 45. We shall change our name for a curse. Give me that. You call yourself Jamaican, right? What's Jamaican? What's Indians? The Bible call you Benjamin. That's a God-given name. But why are you calling yourself Jamaican?
Jamaican.
Why? Because of this. Read that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 65 and verse 15. And ye shall leave your name.
You, Benjamin, you, the tribe of Benjamin, you shall leave your name, Benjamin.
And ye shall leave your name for a curse.
For a curse. Jamaican is a cursed name. God called you Benjamin.
Jacob. I dig that.
Yeah.
I
So
respect that.
now that's what I'm saying. We don't know who we are.
I respect that.
We don't know who we are. So before we can know who we are, we have to come to the Bible. The Bible is spiritual. How should I say? It's spiritual to bring us back to who we are. Because right now we live in a carnal sense. Everything that we do is carnal.
Everything we do.
How we dress is carnal. How we move is carnal. How we talk is carnal. But if we want to live according to spiritual, as he's saying, this is what we have to do. John 6, verse 63.
The book of John, chapter 6 and verse 63.
Bring it out.
It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life.
Everything the Bible is saying is spirit. Why? Because according to the Bible, it gives you a spiritual name, which is what? Benjamin. Now you have a carnal name, what? Jamaican. That's a carnal name.
I think
But
that.
in spiritual
You're right.
sense,
I can't argue with
God
that.
call you what?
I argue with that. Benjamin. I can't argue with that.
Yeah, so when
That's
we
real
talk
fact.
about spiritual aspect of our lives, we have to go to the Bible.
Real fact. I misspoke, but that's true fact.
Yeah, that's
true
your
fact.
name, not Jamaican.
Yeah.
Not Jamaican,
So y'all
brother.
understand
But let
that.
me ask you a question. You said that we all the same people, right?
We all the same.
We all the same people.
We gotta treat each other.
You said again?
We all got a iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron.
Each one teach one.
So you saying
we
that
all the same people.
The Arabs, the so-called African Americans, so-called Jamaicans, we all the same people.
We all the same people, bro.
What makes us the same people? What makes us the same people?
We all created from, you know what I'm saying, the same father.
Yeah, we all came from God. Yes, give me
We all sons of God. We all sons of God.
Yeah, let's see what the Bible says.
But
Yes, we all came
sons of
from Adam. As you're saying, we all came from God, right?
We all the
But
sons
let's
of
see what
God.
God said. Now remember, we talk about spiritual aspect, not
Spiritual.
carnal.
We ain't
So
talking
everything
about
that we do, we have to get the spiritual understanding behind it. Read.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6 and verse 55. As for the other people, which also come of Adam.
The Arabs came from Adam. The white man came from Adam. All nations came from what? Adam, right?
Adam.
Read.
Thou hast said that they are nothing.
What did God say?
They are nothing.
So God, in spiritual form, God is saying that the nations are nothing. Read.
But be like unto spittle.
Like when you spit, your spit is nothing. That's how God see the other nations, the Arabs, the so-called white man, the so-called Chinese. God saying that they are nothing. Read.
And have likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
For example, if you're drinking water in a bottle and a little bit fall on the ground, would you worry about that? No. That's how God see them. Read.
Verse 57. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing.
God is saying that from the beginning that he created the other nations, they were nothing to him. Remember what we read in Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 8 and 9? It says that God chose only the children of Israel. God created all the nations, but God is saying that those nations are nothing to him. Read.
That's right.
Have begun to be lords over us.
Now these nations are ruling over us. In our neighborhoods, who has all the corner stores? The Chinese, the Arabs. They are ruling over us now. Read.
And to devour us.
Now they devour us. If you go to social media, you see what they're doing to our sisters when they go to their shop to buy these fake wigs. They be choking them. They be beating them up. Read.
But we, thy people,
We, the Israelites, we, you, the tribe of Benjamin, we, the Israelites,
whom thou hast called thy firstborn.
God has called us the firstborn. God created all nations and said, look, you are my firstborn.
That's
Why?
right.
Because in spiritual form or spiritual aspect, the firstborn get all what? All the inheritance.
Bring it out.
Right? So God has given all the inheritance to who? To me and you. Read.
Thy only begotten and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands.
God's law is given to us, not all nations. Read.
If the world now be made for our sake.
So God is saying that from the beginning of Adam, when he created the whole earth, guess who he gave it to? He gave it to his firstborn. Who are God's firstborn? Me and you, the Israelites. Read.
Why do we not possess an inheritance?
So right now, why are we in the ghettos? Why are we poor? If the whole planet God made it for us, why are we poor? Why the other nations are ruling over us? Why they calling us niggas? Read.
With the world, how long shall this endure?
That's it. So the Bible is saying that from the, yes, we all come from Adam, but the Bible is saying that God did not choose the other nations. They are nothing to God.
That's right.
Right, we are the special people.
That's right.
So that's why we have to come back to God's law. Remember what our conversation is: spiritual understanding.
That's right.
For us to come back to our spiritual understanding, this is what we have to do. Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 12. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy.
Flyer.
Chapter 10 and verse 12. And now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee?
Remember, spiritual understanding. That's what we're doing now, not carnal.
Right.
Read.
But to fear the Lord thy God.
It says that before you can get the spiritual understanding, you have to fear the Almighty God. And this is his son. This is his son, a dark-skinned man.
Yep.
God is a dark-skinned man, not a Caucasian.
Yeah. Right.
Read.
To walk in all his ways.
It says that we have to walk in God's ways. What are God's ways? That the so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we have to walk in spiritual understanding. Read.
And to love him.
And to love him. For example, right now we have homosexuals. Hispanics, blacks, Native Americans, we are homosexual. That's not spiritual, that's carnal. That's evil. Read.
And to serve the Lord thy God.
It says we have to serve God. How do we serve God? Read.
With all thy heart.
With all our minds. Read.
And with all thy soul. To keep the commandments of the Lord.
So for us to get the spiritual understanding, number one, we have to fear God.
That's right.
And we have to what? Keep his commandments.
That's right.
That's how we can get the spiritual understanding. You see how easy when we speak spiritual, we are easy to dialogue.
Yep.
But once we move from spiritual understanding and come to the carnal sense, we argue.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? So if we want to speak spiritual understanding, if we have to get spiritual understanding, we have to use the Bible.
That's
because
right.
The Bible was only given to us.
That's right.
We should not move carnal. Because anytime we move carnal, guess what? We kill each other.
That's right.
We rob each other.
That's right.
So we have to what? Speak in spiritual understanding. We have to move spiritual. We finished that. Give me Romans chapter 7,
Nah, bro.
verse 14.
Bro, I gotta go. No disrespect.
Hey,
I just came out the road from Georgia, bro.
Hey, all
me?
great.
I'm moving fast. I ain't seen my lady since I got back to Connecticut.
But
It's been
you
2
have
weeks.
to marry her, though.
You feel me?
Look, this is spiritual
marry her.
understanding. Bro,
Look, she gotta earn this king, bro.
No.
Brother, you gotta earn this king, bro. You gotta earn this king.
Okay, for you to, you are king right now, right? If you are a king, how are you supposed to move as a king?
How you supposed to move as a king?
If you are a king, how are you supposed to move?
What you mean? How you supposed to move?
Because king,
You gotta move honorably.
honorably. Okay,
Righteously.
very good. So
That's how you gotta move.
So that's how you're supposed to move. Give me Hebrews chapter 13. Remember, spiritual understanding. As a king, this is how you're supposed to move. Read.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 4. Marriage is honorable.
As a spiritual man, as a king.
Hey, yo, he trying to break into marriage. Oh,
no,
my
where you
God.
going? Remember, we
no,
get
no,
spiritual understanding.
Dig it. That's
You know
spiritual
what I'm
understanding.
saying? We're not moving carnal now.
I believe
We're moving spiritually.
Look, I believe in marriage. I believe
As
in
a
marriage.
king.
As a king.
You said that you have to move honorably.
You understand?
And in spiritual understanding, this is how you're supposed to move. Read.
Marriage is honorable in all.
As a king moving honorably, you have to be an example of what? We to follow. You cannot be a king and you have servants and you don't have no vision for the people to follow.
I dig it.
We will be doing our own thing. Right? So if you are a king, you have to do what? You have to be an example. Right?
dig it.
So it starts with you. Number one, you have to do what? Read.
And the bed
Start
undefiled.
from the beginning.
Marriage is honorable.
As a king, we are your servants now, right? So if you want to follow you as a king, you have to be an example in what? In marrying your sister. So that we can also marry our sisters.
I understand.
If you're a king and you just sleeping with our sisters, or you jump from this woman to this woman, we're going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And guess what? Your kingdom will do what? Will be destroyed.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the black man will not take care of their children.
my crown.
Because we found you.
I understand.
So as a king, you're supposed to be an example.
Yeah. But that's, you know what I'm saying? That's in a minute.
What do you mean in a minute?
I ain't saying I won't. I ain't saying I will. But one thing I won't do as a king, I'm not gonna put, you know what I'm saying, a queen in a chair that's not deserving. to the queen.
So okay.
You got to be a queen to the king. If I put anything there less than a queen, then my crown is tarnished, my man.
Okay,
you
so
feel me?
Let me
From
say
the ground
this.
up.
I understand what you're saying.
From the ground up.
But before, okay, give me Sirach chapter 6, verse 7.
That don't mean I don't move like a king, because look, everything I do in my life is honorable. Even though she's not my wife, see, I won't dare walk out and take up with another woman on her. I'm gonna be honorable to her until she meet that pedestal or that level where you could become my queen. I'm gonna be honorable to you. As a king, I have to do that. I have to move in righteousness.
But do you know that, I understand what you're saying, but do you know that the honorable thing as a king you're supposed to do is what? Not to sleep with her until you prove that she is rightful to sit on your throne?
You marry her.
Read that.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 6 and verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend,
You want to get a queen. If you want to get a queen as a king, this is what you're supposed to remember. Spiritual understanding. That's what we're doing now. Read.
prove him first.
What are you supposed to do?
Prove him first.
So you have to prove her before you sleep with her. You cannot sleep with her and say that, oh, I'm still going to sleep with her and still prove her at the same time to make sure to see if she deserves the seat. You cannot do that.
You're right.
Read.
And be not hasty to credit him.
You cannot say, oh, she's a queen because you have not proved her. Because, for example, right now, okay, if she get pregnant and she have a baby, and later on you find out that she's not the right sister for you, what are you going to do as a king?
What you mean? You got to deal with that, bro.
What do you mean by that?
You got to make that work, bro.
You gonna stay with her?
You got to make that work, bro.
So why don't you start with proving her first as a king? Now sleep with, right? You see? Look, as I said, remember what I said.
Hey, I should never stop and talk to you, man.
That's spiritual, man.
I should never stop and talk to you,
That's
man.
spiritual, man.
Man, let me call her, man. Just propose to her right now, man. Get this out the way, right?
Yo, proposal is garbage, man. That on your knees and all that's garbage.
Yo, that's
but remember,
garbage.
as I said, when it comes to spiritual conversation, it's easy for us to agree. Right. Because that's where you're coming from. You come from spiritual understanding, I'm coming from spiritual understanding. Yep. But once we move carnal, we argue. You know what I'm saying? That's the issue with us. Because remember what you said, you were king. And as a king, your servant is supposed to follow your footsteps. So everything that you're doing, we are learning from you. So if you're not moving spiritually, how your servant's going to move? They're going to move carnal. You know what I'm saying? Read it again.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 6 and verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
You have to prove that sister before you sleep with her.
That's
you know what I'm saying? You have to prove her. Read.
And be not hasty to credit him.
Don't rush to credit her that, oh, she's a good woman. Because it takes time to get to know someone.
That's right.
So if you say that you are king, you are honorable king, brother, you should not sleep with a sister until you marry her.
Until I marry her. Right?
Yeah, because sex comes with what?
I know.
Sex comes with what?
Sex comes with
marriage.
Marriage, problems.
Yes, look, even in the spiritual, give me 1 Corinthians, I think it's chapter 7, verse 26. Trouble in the flesh. Yes. Remember, in the spiritual form or spiritual understanding, when you get married, you're going to have discourse. You're going to have disagreement between you and your wife. Because remember, in spiritual form, in you there's a spirit, and in her there's a spirit. So two spirits are what? Joining together. It's not going to be easy.
That's right.
That's what marriage is. Read that.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 7 and verse 28.
Bring it out.
But if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. And if a virgin marry, she hath not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh.
So in spiritual understanding, God is saying that you're still going to have issues in your marriage. But it doesn't mean that you have to leave the sister and go for another woman.
Yeah.
It comes with marriage. Because it's two spirits trying to join together. It's not going to be easy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I said, King, brother, what's your name? I didn't get your name.
Yo, my name is Marvin, man.
Marvin, Malachias. I said,
bless it.
Marvin.
Bless it.
I said, King.
I love it. I love the two.
I said, King. As an honorable king, you have to move spiritual. The only way you can be honorable is what? Is by the Spirit of God.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC, has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.